We're back. Monday morning. Let's get this week started right. What is up, everybody? We are back. It is Monday morning, and today I want to talk about mental compulsions. I think that this is an important topic because it's an area that I think a lot of people can get stuck when they're in treatment for OCD and doing ERP. So with that being said, I'm not a therapist. This is not a guide to treatment. This is just my experience living with OCD and anxiety and what I'm doing about it today. So let's get started. And mental compulsions, those are all of the things that we do inside our brain that make us feel better and mitigate that anxiety from an OCD trigger. And we've talked about physical compulsions before, and those are things like checking, asking other people for reassurance. One that was big for me was turning on and off things again and again and again until it felt right. And what that did was it eliminated any bad things from happening, a lot of magic thinking involved. So any of those physical compulsions, the things that we actually do after we're triggered from OCD, those are the first things that they're going to cut out and start to break them down one by one until you're not doing any more physical compulsions. So once those physical compulsions are cut out of your OCD, of your day, what you might find happening is you're in your head a lot more. And now when you have a trigger for OCD, you already know you're not going to engage physically with these things that help you help mitigate the anxiety, but you might find yourself, replaying the event in your head, ruminating a lot about stuff. I find myself reassuring myself a lot of times that everything's okay. And the reason we want to stop those is just like physical compulsions. When you're doing that, when you're actively engaging in these thoughts, in working through all these things, you're teaching your brain that this was a good response. Alerting us about this perceived threat of danger was a good thing because now we're doing all these things to keep us safe. And anybody with OCD, they know that their amygdala and their threat center in their brain doesn't always fire properly. So we want to teach the brain that there is no danger here. So some of the things that I'll do is, like, for example, when I got triggered last week at work, I knew I wasn't going to do any of the physical things that I do to make myself feel better. But on the drive home, I started finding myself just replaying the event in my head, reassuring myself about the event that everything's okay. And if you're not aware of that, that can go on for a long time, even days after the event. And then you're still super distressed about the OCD in the same way that you would if you were doing physical compulsions, and you're not really getting the relief that you're hoping from, which is the reason that you got into treatment. So if you can just, for number one, which is a big thing in this channel, is recognize that this is going on. Is once you recognize that, you just stop engaging with it. Stop going through those thoughts. Stop reassuring yourself. Stop analyzing the whole situation. Just allow those thoughts to come, and when they come, do nothing about them. I like to, once I recognize it's going on, I like to then engage back into my day. Whether I'm driving, I'll turn the music up, I'll listen to the music. You're not really distracting yourself from it, but you're not engaging with it. So you're going about your day as if nothing's changed because you started the day and you didn't have anxiety. There was no OCD trigger. Now you got triggered with OCD. And now you just have anxiety. Other than that stuff that's going on, nothing else has changed. So I like to just go about my day as if nothing else changed. And through time, over time, that anxiety will go down. And sometimes I'll find myself triggered by something, and I'll recognize that I'm triggered right away, and I won't engage in anything at all, mental or physical. And what I'll find myself is within like 5 minutes, that anxiety really goes away, and I'm not really worried about that event or that trigger so much anymore. So when you can find it within yourself to not engage with those mental compulsions, I really feel that's when you'll start to get the relief from OCD that you were hoping to when you got into treatment. So I hope that helps. Like always, like this video so other people can find it. I want to give a big shout out to Joseph Millis. I hope I'm pronouncing that right. And his YouTube channel is Millis Construction. He has great videos on the construction industry and tools. It's really good. You should check it out. And I want to thank him right now for the suggestion to learn about thumbnails and how to set my own thumbnail on my video. Everybody from the handyman journey has just been so supportive. So thank you, Joseph. Leave me a comment, guys. Let me know what's going on with you. How are you doing with your OCD or your anxiety, or just how are things going for you? And like always, subscribe.